everybody, welcome to another video. So I've just got a couple of sanders from China. I have no idea how you say this. Meizuishi, something like that. Both of them are the same make, as you can see. Different sanders. One's a flatbed sander, 198 by 70, and the other one is a 6-inch DA or dual action sander, or random orbital sander as they often call them. But I'm just going to run through what you get with them basically, and just give you an overall view of what I think against my existing sanders, because I've been eyeing these up for ages. And they become quite cheap in that, you know, there was some kind of special deal, choice day or something they call it, I can't remember. And I've also recently got a flex sander. So yeah, why does he need so many sanders? Well, I asked myself that, but you know, I still get them. Anyway, so we're going to have a little look about, you know, what makes these things tick compared to the others, and see what we got. There's no using them in this video because I've literally just got them, but I thought it'd be a good idea to run through a few things because I was wondering what they were like, and you will as well, I guess. So let's get rid of these. Anything in life is that simple, just throw it over the side. So let's concentrate on the DA sander, or random orbital sander, first. The first thing I noticed is, compared to, now this is a Metabo, but it's actually exactly the same as the Mirka. Now I did an unboxing video of this and a 6 months on video of this to give you an idea of what it was like quality wise, but as I say, it's exactly the same as the Mirka. This is now over 4 years old, and it's been absolutely fine. I've had to refit the cable once, which is a relatively simple thing to do, but if you're going like this all the time, the cables will go. It's just inevitable. It might be a good idea to give it a quick pull, and by that I mean just whip the cover off and give the ends a pull every now and again, because if the cable is about to go and you pull it, it will snap in your hand, and then you can refit it, or just refit it every year or whatever, depending on how much you use it. But the reason I say that is because they can literally go pop just there where the neutral and the live touch each other. They can literally go pop, and if you're going like that, it will burn your hand. Very rare, but it does. I know a couple of people this happened to, and it scared the life out of them. So worth thinking about anyway. All these are actually plugged in. I'm surrounded by leads here. So now you'll notice this one says 5 and this one says 2.5. I did that deliberately. I have got a 2.5 version of this. Again, if you look at the videos that's in the link, it will explain more about this. It's not particularly about this, it's just comparing it to it. As I say, this is the same as the Mirka, so it's interesting for me to actually see what these like side by side. Now the actual head, and by that I mean the part that you actually put your hand round, is a little bit more chunkier on this than it is on the Mirka or Metabo. Now this particular make, I can't pronounce it, but this particular make is the same as the, I've written it down, Maxxt, the Maxxt. It's exactly the same sander, different colour. The Maxxt is black, and you can get these in black as well, but it's exactly the same sander. When you look at it, all the actual items are the same. So price wise, I paid about 100 GB pounds for this, including delivery, so it wasn't particularly expensive. It's a little bit dearer at the moment, but if you look for like offers, and Black Friday's coming up soon, you can get deals on these, and definitely worth a punt, I think, because literally holding this, and you know, I used to repair and work with power tools for 35-40 years, so I do know a little bit about power tools, and the build of this actually seems really good. Comparing it to this, it seems as good as far as build quality goes. It feels solid. It feels slightly more chunky, which some people are like. If you've got a big hand, you actually think that's a good idea, because the flex, one of the things, and we will come to the flex a bit in a minute, although I'll do a proper separate review on the flex after I've used it for a while. But the flex, one of the things I like about that is it actually feels a little bit more chunkier, which can feel nice. Obviously the size of the base is still 6 inch, it's no different. One of the things you will find with the Mirka stroke Metabo is that you can fit a 5-inch base to it. There's a, as I've said before, there's a, I say when I've said before on videos I've done before, there's a 24 mil flats on the bottom here, which allow you to remove the pad, and it's a standard, I think it's 24 TPI, and I think it's 5/16 is the thread. We'll have a look. I've got a spare pad somewhere here. I'll put a spare pad, maybe I left it in there. Yeah, I did, there it is. I use a 5-inch pad sometimes. It's rare I use a 5-inch pad, but it is handy to be able to move it. 5/16 UNF thread is the actual thread, and that's a 5-inch version. And obviously you can just put that on there and away you go if you want to use 5-inch, but most people use 6-inch or 150 mil. It's just there if you want to. It's something you can't do with the with these ones. These ones are purely 6-inch. Now, one of the things I've noticed, I haven't used this yet, as far as, let's put this back on there, that's actually a little spacer I put on. Again, if you look at the old videos, you'll see why I did that, because most of these sanders need to run, that skirt that is there needs to be nice and, well, relatively tight to this base plate. And the reason for that is that obviously, let's get that on there, obviously for it to be able to extract, for the dust extraction, it needs to be a reasonably good seal, otherwise it will just be sucking up pure air and it won't be actually drawing through the pad, which is what it does. All these holes it draws through, depending what disc you've got on. If you've got a disc on there with that's completely mesh, you get normally better dust extraction because there's nothing getting in the way. But that's the idea of that, is to get it nice and tight so that you get good dust extraction. And what I've noticed on this straight away is that they've put a lot of grease around there, so I'm going to remove that grease. Let's turn this off. I'm hoping not to make the video too long, but I think it's a good idea to remove the grease, because grease and dust don't really mix. I know exactly why they've done it. They've done it so that it doesn't squeak. When you get the sander, if you don't do this, the Mirka does the same until they've worn in a bit, and the Flex does exactly the same, they squeak. So you can see the bit of grease around here, so we just remove that. And that's what I was saying about these pads. You can buy these pads separately. I've found them on AliExpress. You can buy these pads separately. So we just remove the grease around there, and we'll remove the grease from the inside. But it's actually like a hex fit. Well, it's not a hex, is it? It's a 2 flat fit on here, on this part here. So it doesn't screw in. So you can't get a 5-inch pad for it. I don't think most people, see plenty of grease on there, and all it'll do is just track the dust and clog this lot up. But I don't think it will affect people's choice really, in that the fact that a 6-inch, yeah, that's it there. A 6-inch pad is normally what most people will use. So let's get that back to where it should be. One of the things you'll find with these sanders, now I was watching a guy once yonks ago when I was thinking about what sander to get, and he only had one hand, and he was saying about the difficulty in changing discs on this, because you lie it down, so you have to keep turning it off, and it just is a pain to keep turning them off when you want to turn them over. And that's something I found with the Flex. You don't get that, because the Flex works differently. The Flex works by you pushing that button and letting go, and then your variable speed is here, which seems a bit more antiquated. It's more of an older idea, but I've been using the Flex exclusively the last month or so. I've only had it about a month, and I've been using this exclusively the last month, and I must say I actually really like it. Somebody said to me, a guy called Wayne from Damage Undone, he's got a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel, he said with the Flex, what he found is that the slow speed wasn't slow enough, and I don't find that. I find the slow speed on this, I have got a RPM meter, but I haven't got it out and tried, but the slow speed on the Flex seems to be about the same as the Mirka Deos or the Metabo, as I say, the same unit. This is supposed to be exactly the same. I have no reason to think that it isn't. When I turn it on, it doesn't seem particularly fast on a slow speed. When you put it on slow, it's supposed to be 4,000 RPM, which is exactly what the Mirka is supposed to be. But as far as smoothness goes, it's right there, right there. And at full speed. Now you've got a little bit of vibration at full speed, but you'll get the same on the Mirka. Let's put the Mirka up to full speed. You do get a bit of vibration. So I don't think that's anything peculiar to this. And most of the time, for the sort of stuff that I do, which is more automotive stuff, if you're looking at woodworking, maybe you would use it a bit faster. But generally I only use it on sort of like 1, 2 or 3, that being 1, that being 2, that being 3. So there's no vibration at all. When you get it, you'll get it with a hose. Where's the hose? Oh no, I've got a hose there, didn't I? You'll get it with a hose. And the hose, no, that's what I mean by keep going off. The hose is just pushed on the end there, and it's quite a faff to pull off, but it does come off. Just hold that so that you're not putting loads of pressure on that. Because what I do, that's the hose you get, and it's a standard fitting, which is about 32mm, I think. Let's get my digital verniers and we will find out, won't we? Right, inside diameter 34mm. So what I do is I buy these again from AliExpress, and you just cut them off. They're a rubbery type thing. You cut them off to whatever you want, which is what I've done here, which is what I will do with these sanders. And you just push it on, quite tight, but it needs to be tight. And then you just put your standard hose fitting on the end each time you want to use it. So yeah, that's that. As I say, I haven't used it yet, but I'm definitely impressed. And for the sort of money I paid for it, I mean, these things now, the Metabo's about $330, $340, and the Mirka version, which is exactly the same. This is made in Finland. It's made by Mirka for Metabo. Is about 500 GB pounds, something like that. So they are a lot of money. So you get 5 of those for one of the Mirka machines. Longevity, I don't know yet. As I say, I haven't used it. It feels really good. It feels very well made. As I say, it feels as good as that as far as well made goes. Definitely along with the Porpish guns, Porpish spray guns. Those that watch the channel, those that watch the channel will know that I've been trying quite a few Chinese Porpish spray guns, which are very good quality spray guns in my opinion. And this feels similar in that they get in there, if that makes sense. The quality's there. It's not just about cheapness and price. The quality is there. So yeah, that definitely feels good. I hope my voice holds out. Right, so what we got now is we've got the same version. Again, I think this is available as a Maxxt and various other mates. You can get this in red as well, but these are the flatbed versions. So the first thing I noticed about these is that the head on this, by head I mean that, is exactly the same as the one on this. Whereas with the Mirka, this is a Deos, the Mirka Deos, is a genuine Mirka Deos, you find that the head is actually quite small, which is quite nice. So immediately with this, it feels a little bit more chunkier. Now it was fine on that for it to feel chunkier, because for some reason I quite like the idea of that. But with this one, I probably wouldn't want it to feel more chunkier. So it doesn't feel quite as nice in the hand as the Mirka does. But otherwise, it actually looks really good. Let's put them up against each other. I'll bring you some proper tests when we get used to it. When we've had a chance to use it. What I do like about these, and both these do the same, I think the printed circuit board and that's going to be exactly the same, is they have just a little control where you can see actually where you are. So that's the lowest, and then obviously you move up, which the Mirka doesn't do. The Mirka does, when you go up or down, you can see that the light, you should be able to see the, oh no, it's already on. I don't think you can see, can you? Yeah, you can see a red flash there, just to let you know that you're moving up and down in speed. But certainly that's actually better in my opinion. But smoothness, which is what I thought, I didn't think this would be as smooth as the Mirka, because the Mirka is silky smooth. That's full speed, and you bring it down. But it actually does seem like it. That's flat out. Slight little bit more vibration. But once you bring it down, it's absolutely fine. It feels absolutely fine. So I'm really looking forward to using this. I've seen no pads available for this at all. So you'd have to be careful. Put a pad saver on it, which is what I do with the Mirka. Is it on there at the moment? Yeah. So it's just another thin pad that takes the place of the pad, and then the idea is you can change this rather than the actual base. I think the Mirka base is about 50-60 GB pounds, whereas I paid about 100 GB pounds for this whole thing. But certainly fit and finish, really good, really good. I mean it feels lovely. I'm left wondering why I bought one of these, but we'll have to see. Only time will tell. But a few bits on the flex while I'm at it. It's just a little video I wanted to do just to let you know where I am with sanders, because the couple of videos I've done on sanders have been quite popular, so I thought I'd just do another one so that you guys could see. But where I am with the flex, I'm actually enjoying it more than the Mirka, and I think the reason for that is the fact that you can turn it on and then move around the body without the speed control being in the way. Because with that, obviously you do something and you go like that, and you go to move and like that, it changes the speed. Whereas this, you can do what you want and your speed control is there. It feels a little bit more chunky, which I don't mind on the DA sanders. I really don't mind that. It feels easy to maneuver, etc. Build quality looks excellent. You'll see, or you might not know, but this is actually a replacement pad I put on it. The original pad, I actually put pad savers on all these, but I took the pad savers off of this so that it makes it vibrate, and I wanted, if I was going to show you the two together, I didn't want one sort of having an advantage over the other. But there's the standard pad that comes with it, with the flex. Just a standard pad. You can see again it's been rubbing around here. It has some kind of, it's got little pop. Well, let's show you if you will. Let's show you what it's got. So it's got little, like little, sorry, I'm trying to do this as quick as possible, but it's got little well, like pins, like sprung loaded pins, as you can see there, little sprung loaded pins, which is designed, I think, just to keep the skirt clean for for sealing. Again, you've got this rubber skirt here, and you see that it's a rubber skirt, and that's what does the sealing. You can see where it's been rubbing on the base there. And as I say, on that other one, on that Chinese one, I think they just put that grease on there so that people didn't get a squeaky sander when they first got it. That's what I think, because it would people would think there's something wrong with it, but there's not something wrong with it once you know these things and how they work. But yeah, you can buy the pads separately. As I say, this one is the original pad that came with it, and I ordered a spare pad at the same time, and I don't know why, but I thought, well, I'll put the spare pad on straight away and keep the original and see how long the spare, you know, the spare part pad lasts. And so far it's been fine. I've only been using it a month or so, but I have been using it exclusively, as you can see with all the rubbish coming out. Anyway guys, oh yeah, another thing just before I go, you do get some sort of like Mirka Arbanet type discs with a disc sander and pads with the flat pad sander. They're 198, but I think I said they're 198 by 70. But yeah, super smooth. Yeah, as I say, I don't know how long they're going to last, but if they last any reasonable amount of time, they're a bit of a bargain. As far as changing the cable goes, as I said before, the cable will go. They always go, because there's just so much flicking around. I can't see a way in it other than 2 screws there. So there's 2 screws there. So what I suspect is that you loosen those 2 screws off there. That back will come up here, and then this front will push away, allowing it to come off. That's what I reckon. It will just clear that electronic unit. But you're going to be able to change the cable, is what I'm trying to say, because originally on the Mirka, it used to be a sealed cable. Festool used to do it as well. It was a completely sealed cable, and then when it went, you had to buy a complete new cable. Great for the power tool manufacturers, because they're charging you 40 quid for a little bit of cable, whereas these days you can literally just refit it. So you lose a little bit of length on the cable, but you're up and away again, and it only wears the bit that's wiggling around. And as I say, if you give it a tug, you'll know whether it's going to go or not. Anyway guys, yeah, I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see you for the next one. Bye.